Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 131 people in 14 different countries. And the theme is healthy family boundaries. This is the second in the set of two healings called the July 2023 Twin Set. And the triplet set earlier this month and this twin set have all been themed healthy family boundaries, which is a topic near and dear to my heart. Oh, good! Yay! Thank you for my confirmation. Woohoo! So, what do I mean by strong boundaries or healthy boundaries? Like, what is that? You know, is that like you build some strong wall between you and other people? No, it's not. It is not. Strong boundaries is a really interesting thing. It mostly relates to the quality of your energy in general, but also the quality of your energy when you are interacting with somebody, either by choice or because they're interacting with you. And all of a sudden now you're interacting with them. Do you go into judgment? Do you go into fear? Do you go into victimization energy? Do you go into resistance? That's going to screw your boundaries with that person. So boundaries is like the strength of your force field, all your auras that your chakras generate, your grounding, how flowing your grounding is, all that stuff. The functionality of your energy system, that's, you know, if it's well functioning, that's strong boundaries. So a concrete example would be like, you have a crabby sister, let's say. Let's try to pick a lighter example than maybe some we could pick. So say you have a pissy sister, and she's very pissy and crabby, and she's always been pissy and crabby because of, you know, various past life things that she hasn't quite worked out yet, and, you know, persistent chakra damage, etc. So, you know, whatever. It's not that she's an evil person. She just, you know, is walking around with half her chakras and half her auras and a lot of pent-up rage. And you have the lucky privilege of being her sister. You're welcome. Now, if she's your older sister, then you actually chose that family knowing she would be in it. But if she's your younger sister, you actually may not have realized that she was a part of the deal. But either way, now she's your sister, and how do you have healthy family boundaries with such a person? Well, you know, you have to have non-judgment with her. So it does help to be able to see the facts, you know, like, well, she has chakra damage pretty much all the time. She's had pent-up rage for like the last 4 lifetimes. So it's a lot of backlog of emotional stuck energy, and even like heart chakra stuck energy. So she really does perceive that everyone's being mean to her and unkind to her, even when it's totally the opposite. Because 4th chakra problems distort, you know, 6th chakra. When you're in your 6th chakra, that's clarity, vision, that's clairvoyance, and non-judgment. So if someone's very judgy, they also have poor vision, poor discernment, because you see best from your 6th chakra. You intuit best from your 7th chakra. But if you are stuck in victimization or resentment, loneliness, etc., you are viewing from your 4th chakra, or maybe even lower than that. And so the vision is pretty crappy, even subconsciously. The accuracy is pretty crappy, even subconsciously. So there's that. So to have boundaries with pissy, broken chakra sister, you need to clear enough baggage and heal enough wounds so that you do not judge her. So that if you are thinking about her, or she's throwing energy at you and therefore you're aware of her on a spirit level, you're viewing from your 6th and your 7th, which is the most centered and flowing you can get. So you're in as many chakras as possible, but you're viewing from 6th and 7th, and so you can maintain your flow. And so as she's throwing daggers at you, they, you know, ideally they just bounce right off your aura, because your aura is just so like, there's so much of you there that it's just like a really strong, flowy place. And so the dagger is just going to bounce off the edges of your auras. Not because you put something hard there, not at all. If you have a lot of hard energy that triggers when she's throwing daggers at you, then actually it cuts quite deep. It's like if you were to throw a knife at a waterfall, the knife goes right through the waterfall is fine, the waterfall keeps going. If you throw a knife at an apple, which is hard and rigid, you cut a piece out, right? So the hard rigidity would cause her daggers to make a lot of damage. And she keeps throwing them because she has an endless amount of energy for punishment. And so the rips would get deeper and deeper until you got a lot of chakra damage. And then, you know, now you're even more boohoo world because now you have a lot of chakra damage. So strong boundaries is work over time. You know how she is, so it's not like it's going to be a surprise next time. Right? It's not like you're like, oh, I had no idea she would be that way. So, you know, clear your judgment of her, clear your judgment of people in general that punish, people in general that punish you, people in general that are invasive, people in general that have pent up rage, etc., 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 etc. Clear your judgment of all those people, so you can just be like, wow, it must hurt to be her, and glad I'm not her, and I'm going to just keep my flow. And I'm not going to engage in the battle, I'm just going to keep my flow, right? So that's strong boundaries, is that you keep your flow, basically. You non-judgment and flow and presence, the level of presence. So you're not like, oh, I'm going to go far, far away and pretend this isn't happening. No, because then your aura is like really faint, because there's not much of you there around your body. And so you're, you know, it's, things rip more because there's not the strength there to sort of bounce off the daggers. Daggers can bounce off, or they can just go less deep than they would otherwise, you know, so they could just be making a lot of dents, like just in your 7th layer or something. So then later you just, you know, take out the daggers and then heal up that little layer. So you didn't get all the chakra damage and the creative ring damage and yada, 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 and the meridian damage that you would have if you had had so much hardness that the daggers kept ripping and ripping and coming in more. So that's fun with the pissy sister. That's how so you can't make the pissy sister not pissy. I mean, you know, you can remind her about angels, remind her about healing, you know, but she's so far behind the 8 ball as far as rage that even if she is clearing much more of it in this life than she has in any other life, you know, that's still a lot of pent up rage. And since, you know, and maybe you and she are like oil and water, you know, she just looks at you and she just sees red, you know, it's like, you're very triggering, the way you live your life, who you are, whatever. So that's that. That's what strong boundaries are, is non-judgment, flow, presence, including grounding, but, you know, just really just be there, be present. And the ability to repair yourself pretty efficiently, you know, because you don't want to have to wait, you know, until the perfect day, the perfect hour to get it done, you know, to take out the little daggers and repair up the auras. You want to get to that so that you can have a good day. Because otherwise, you know, if you leave the rips there because you're waiting, you know, to do the 2-hour live stream that Janet made, you know, then the rips are going to get deeper and deeper because, you know, pissy sister keeps throwing. So it's good to, you know, try to teach yourself to, you know, just practice freestyling, where you just do a super quick version of, you know, your 4 essentials, basically. You scoop out the daggers, you have angels recycle any beings that, you know, joined the circus there, and then, you know, use a lot of gold fire and whoosh, heal it all up. repair it up, redo your buffer zones, redo your gold spheres in that area. You know, gold light, gold light, gold light, let the gold spheres repair so that of your Wei Qi auras so that they're resuming generating lots of gold light. So that's what I mean by strong boundaries. And so when we work these healings, all these healings that we've done in this, you know, this month and also previous years, if you search Janet Wright, family boundaries, there are a lot of videos that would come up. But anyway, what we're doing is we're clearing baggage that triggers when you interact with family members. We're clearing, you know, old negative patterns that you have around family members so that you can be more non-judgmental and centered and flowing and present when you are interacting with your family members. Whether or not you talk to them consciously, that's, you know, you don't have to talk to them consciously to interact with them on a spirit level. You know, they could throw energy no matter what. Even if you haven't talked to a Pissy sister since you were, you know, 20, she's still got your number. She knows who you are, you know, which is all it takes. So, yeah, so non-judgment, presence, you know, as opposed to escapism, flow, lots of flow, and, you know, self-repair. Repair things. Don't just be like, gee, I've had 3 panic attacks in the last 3 days. You know, check to see which chakras are exploded. You know, if you have a panic attack, that's a lot of chakra damage. You know, probably 7th, probably 1st, certainly 1st chakra, if you have a panic feeling. You know, most likely aura damage as well. Because your auras protect your chakras. So if your chakras are damaged, probably you have some aura damage. Although some people they can get some cords in, they can send so much energy that that'll damage the chakra, but you technically don't have aura damage. But that's less common. Usually people just blast their way through and damage the aura as well. Well, how about that? So that's a discussion of family boundaries. So even if you have a nice family, you know, sometimes they have a bad day and they can whack the crap out of you, you know, or you're doing something, say you're resetting the whole energy of the home because your energy, your aura is like as big as the whole apartment all of a sudden. If you get very triggered, you lose your marbles, you know, your grounding gets blocked up, you're handling a lot. You could have your energy, your life force, rather than just in your auras around you, like this far out, you know, this far out, they can be like all over the room or all over the house. You can expand your auras that big, particularly women. Women have more energy because, you know, our bodies can make other people make other bodies. So we have like an extra power pack here. So if a woman is out of sorts, they have more energy to just sort of smear all over the place. Not that that's a good thing, but there's that. I mean, men can do it too, but like tornado size, you know, like a woman's tornado, if she's like really, you know, which would not be ideal, but if she's spreading her aura all around the house, you know, it'd be like this big versus a guy would be this big, maybe. Whatever. Okay, enough rambling. Hopefully it was educational rambling for you, but that is what family boundaries are. That is what boundaries in general are. Non-judgment, flow, presence, and quick and convenient self-repair. All right, so today we will do some of that. Like non-judgment, we'll definitely be working non-judgment with family members, as well as it'll help in general too, non-judgment of people. Oh, by the way, speaking of interactions with people, the September healing sets did sell out. I renamed the set just because it was named like Social Interactions, Simplify and Enjoy, which, you know, technically makes sense, but I think it wasn't registering with people like the importance and the potential of it. So I renamed it to something like Improve Communications, social interactions, get your baggage out of the way. That's the new name of both of the September sets. But anyway, so that's exciting. But August, next month is very exciting too. That's about using your clairvoyance and your expanding your abilities, clairvoyance, intuition, all that stuff. So that'll be fun too. Okay, so today, family boundaries. This is the final of the 5 healings this month that we did on family boundaries. So we'll be working non-judgment for sure. We will be continuing to work stop waiting, which is big. I've been talking about that in like the last, the first healing of this set plus the 3rd healing of the triplet set this month. So, these family boundary healings, it's been sort of a sub-theme, stop waiting. Because families can have that effect on you, just because when you're a kid, you don't dictate, like say if you want to do something, your parents might be like, we'll do that next year, or we'll do that, you can do that when you're older, or, whatever, like they like put you off, or they tell you not right now, or whatever. And so you can have, if they were invasive about that you can have parental energy in your space or on your path, literally making you wait, even though there's nothing to wait for now. Like you're in charge. You can decide if you're leaving the house, or if you're going to bed or not, or staying up, or whatever, but you can get caught up in that mode of like waiting, or waiting and studying, like, oh, I'm not ready yet, or oh, I have to think about it more, I don't have enough clarity, and oftentimes it's not that you don't have enough clarity, it's that you're stuck waiting and you're justifying it to your mind. You're making it make sense to your mind by saying, well, I don't have enough clarity, and kind of not having enough clarity, but the real root of it is you're stuck waiting. And so you have to make that seem not nuts. And so your mind is like justifying it. Like, oh, well, this or that, or this or that. But really it's this underlying pattern that you're waiting for, unnecessarily pausing, instead of acting. So we're going to work that again more, clearing baggage about not being ready, not being good enough. We'll clear fear of failure, fear of success, fear of change, all that good stuff. So I'm excited about that. And another thing which I think is new for this healing, I mean, maybe new as in we've never done it quite this way, but we're going to clear baggage and heal wounds that you don't want to know about. Like we've cleared denial before, and we've cleared avoidance, so that the things that you don't want to deal with, you maybe start dealing with more of them, because you're clearing your denial and your avoidance, your unhealthy levels of denial and avoidance. But that can only go so far. I mean, you could keep working it, but like if as a healer, if I have one healing to give you, I'm not going to be healing you every day for the next 2 months. If you clear denial and avoidance every day for the next 2 months, you would be a different, more fabulous person at the end of those 2 months, no doubt. But in one healing, we kind of got to cut to the chase. So the cut to the chase way is you say, okay, well, I'll explain when we do it, but it's really cool. So it's like you can still, it counts just as much spiritually if you clear it or you heal it, even if you still don't know what it was. And even on a spirit level, you're like, okay, I really don't know want to know what that is. You can still clear it, you can still heal it. So then generally what that does is then people are way more willing to clear and heal like 3 times as much as they would otherwise be able to, and it's still healthy in general. So I'm excited about that. So that's clearing baggage and healing wounds that you do not want to know about. Alrighty. And that often is part of what triggers, which brings you out of neutral non-judgment when you interact with a family member. Like they could be courting baggage that you don't want to know about. And so that every time they're invasive with you, so much triggers within you that you don't want to know about, that you're just like, "Wow, they're terrible. They're the worst person in the world." And you like forget all you know about self-healing. Because all this inner baggage that you have that you do not want to deal with and you don't even want to know exists is triggered. So I think that is good in general, but definitely good for healthy family boundaries, because it'll help you be more centered when you interact with your family members on any level. And we will definitely, this time, I talked so much about the belt area in the intro of last healing, and then we didn't do it. We didn't do the belt area. So we're definitely going to do it. It related to the belt area, in short, this time, is where you, one of the places where you keep baggage you don't want to deal with that you're repressing. So repressed anger, repressed fear, whatever, repressed, who knows what, trauma, yuckiness. So belt area. So we will definitely work that. We'll clear stuff that easily clears and you don't mind knowing about it on the spirit level, but then we'll clear stuff you don't want to know about that's there. We'll clear it anyway. So then you reap all the benefits without freaking yourself out. All right, so that's that. I'm going to look at comments. Thank you so much for my confirmations. That's always good to know. I can see and hear you. Hello from Phoenix. Hello to you. Hello from sunny Las Vegas. A temperature of 104 Fahrenheit right now. Wow. Hopefully you have air conditioning or something. Some ice packs maybe. Some iced tea. Something, maybe some cooling tea. I have actually really nice things that I can have when it's too hot. Like green tea is cooling. And so sometimes I can't have it because, like in the winter, I can't have it because it's too cooling for me. But so that would be a nice time to have a nice cup of green tea if you want. It's not late at night, of course, which is not for you right now. Another one is lemon balm tea. That's cooling and centering. So if it's like a heat wave, that would be nice, probably. I mean, unless you already have too much coolness within you. But if you really feel hot physically, then generally you don't have too much coolness within you. But you could get that confirmed by a practitioner of Chinese medicine who, like traditional Chinese medicine, who actually examines you, you know. But we have a big patch of lemon balm growing. It's an herb, and but we have, I have a big thick barrier of wood chips around it so it doesn't take over the universe because it grows very strongly. But it's good stuff. I think it's pretty centering. So yeah, you could order dried lemon balm online. Lemon balm, like loose leaf lemon balm. But we have a bunch outside, so at least, you know, during the summer we're all set. Which is the only time I would want to drink it personally. Hi from Smoky Point, Washington. Sunny and beautiful. Well, hello, Washington State, which is where I am as well. Yay. Which is in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. So hello to all the people that I'm healing, whatever country you're in, whatever temperature you're dealing with. Hope that you have good shelter of some sort and you are well and safe. All right. So, I'm ready. So I'm just going to do like 3 minutes of quiet or so before I start, and you'll see me go like that. That's how you know I'm doing the healing, but about a minute after that I'll start talking. And I talk out loud, sometimes too much, when I do the healing. So it's like a walkthrough. I'm walking you through. If you want to do the same healing on yourself, you can listen and feel yourself. What else? in October healings, go up on my payment page August 15th. Purchase page August 15th, and you don't have to have worked with me before. Like, I always hear stories about, like, oh, I have this friend and she's been working with you for like 5 years, or she's been working with your videos for 5 years, but like she's never done a healing with me, which is fine. Like, it's not like I'm like, I don't need people. I don't feel like someone owes me, if they've been using my videos for that long. But I'm just saying, don't hold yourself back. Like, if you want to purchase a healing, go for it. A healing set from me. They're on my website on the 15th of each month. You can buy one. Like, these days, sometimes in the past, like, the triplet would sell in like 5 minutes, but then I expanded how many people I'm healing. So since then, maybe the triplet set sells out in like, I don't know, a few hours, depending on the theme. Sometimes less than an hour. But the twin set, which is 2 healings. So some people are like, oh, that's not good enough, but they're really awesome. That one can last a whole day or even more sometimes before it sells out. Sometimes not, so don't slouch on purpose. But so there is a chance that people have to purchase these. If it confuses you, you can email me and I can talk to you about how to purchase. But, don't hold yourself back if you would like a healing from me. It's okay. I'd be happy to work with you. Okay, that's my little soapbox. That's what I wanted to say. So you can email me, introduce yourself, say hi. That's fine. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to do quiet time now. Oh, and later there'll be a detailed healing summary in the comment section where I detail everything that we did with timestamp links. So now there'll be 3 minutes of quiet. Okay, so when you're healing yourself, you can make a copy out in front of you. You can use your hands. They can potentially generate a lot of gold light, which is great for healing and repairing and letting go. Big hand chakra in the palm of each hand, and a fingertip chakra. You have a fingertip chakra in each fingertip in the front there. And they have round openings, just like all chakras. And you set the whole chakra, the hand chakra and the fingertip chakras, to a metallic gold color, like this glitter, so that they're generating gold light as they spin. And your copy can be of everything, or it could be of something very specific, like just your grounding. But if it's everything, then it would be all your 17 auras, your physical body and your astral body, which are inside there, and then both your groundings, which go down to the core of the earth, allowing you to release what is not yours. So let's do grounding. We're going to do the 4 essentials, of course. Grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair. At the intro, when I was talking about fast self-repair, repairing your stuff quickly yourself, it's mostly skills that we're doing in the 4 essentials at the start of the healing. Okay, so grounding, you have 2, make them big and wide, all the way down to the core of the earth, bring them high up to your 3rd chakra, where your sternum ends. That's your 3rd chakra. So bring up your groundings that high, make them wide, all the way down to the core of the earth, behind you, in front of you, to your sides, and make them both the same color of red, orange, or yellow. Because when you're present, you want to be on the same page as your body. Yeah. Don't want to complicate that too much. So just comb through your groundings. They're in the same place, so they really look like just one grounding, unless you separate them out. And that's interesting sometimes too. So with grounding and blocking, you're just using gold light, running it through your grounding. You're looking for chunks of blocked energy and melting them away with the gold light. So there could be stuff in your grounding that you don't want to know about. We're going to work this more later, but we'll do it just for a sec now. So you can just wrap up, like have like a gold like fabric that you're not going to look through, and just wrap up what you don't want to know about that's in your grounding in the gold fabric that you're not going to look at. And then just, angels, can you take this? So again, you're going to clear out of your grounding stuff that you don't even want to know exists there. Just wrap it up in a big gold fabric. Don't look. Give it to your angels. Angels, there you go. Okay, then indie grounding is an extra thing if you have time when you're doing your grounding. Just check the outer perimeter of your grounding and melt away any branch off parts, any hard objects sticking out of your grounding. I work with a lot of parents, and sometimes parents are like, oh, my daughter's driving me crazy, or my son's driving me crazy right now. Or, like during this triggering time, I didn't know how to handle my child, right? So a lot of times if it's that intense, they're hooked into places they shouldn't be hooked into, or you're hooked into places with them that you should, whoever initiated it, it becomes very overwhelming because your grounding is only made for you. It's only good for one person, you. So if your child is hooked into your grounding, they can pump all sorts of like hysteria through all your chakras and whatever, and freak out energy, and that's a problem, right? So it's good to just practice detaching everybody from your grounding. Your kid ideally would have their own grounding all the way down to the core of the earth. You're a tree, they're a separate tree. They have roots, you have roots, right? Only a first chakra cord between you and a young child, not like all over the place. So indie grounding, melt away those connections around the outer surface of your grounding with gold light from your hands. Okay, aura repair of 17 auras. I will write in the healing summary, how is it that you have 17 auras, and I'll write it out so you can kind of look at that. So just imagine all your 17 auras out in front of you and comb through them, look for rips, sense rips with your intuition. The point of that is you want to know, like, do I need aura repair? Yes, no. So once you figure that out, you can repair them manually like this by finding them, finding where they are, and just sending a ton of gold light and getting rid of invasive beings and hard objects in the way of your repair, and then finishing the repair. So you could do that, like a localized kind of thing, or you can do composite copy technique, repair them all at once, which is what we're going to do. So this is just scanning through, seeing, gee, do I need aura repair? All right. So then, composite copy technique, you make an image of a rip and have it represent all the rips in all your 17 auras that you need to repair right now. And then you want to clean it out. There could be hard objects jammed in there. There could be invasive beings in there because it's leaking energy and they like that. So first, I guess you could say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way, anywhere near these rips? And then, like I said, you could have hard objects stuck in them, from Pissy Sister or whoever else threw them. And so just gather up the hard objects that are jammed into the rips. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Gather up the hard objects, lift them out with gold light. Angels, here you go. Gather up the hard objects, lift them out with gold light. Angels, here you go. All right, and you can do sticky gold wax also. Sticky gold wax, fill it up with sticky gold wax. Sticky gold wax is gold light that sticks to what's not you. So then you lift it out like a lump. Angels, here you go. Fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. So now just use lots of gold light and repair the rips. Maybe you missed some of the hard objects, so you can do that again. Lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, please recycle them. Okay, so that's the basics of aura repair. We'll just do one more composite copy super quickly in case there are leftover rips. So composite copy rip, sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Lift out the angels. If there are any invasive beings in the way, please recycle them. Lift out the hard objects in the way. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And finish the repair. Lift out the hard objects, lift out the hard objects, finish the repair. All right, great. So that's aura repair. So, oh, gold mesh spheres. Let's do that because we didn't do that last time. So gold mesh spheres, there are 3 of them in each of the Wei Qi auras. They wrap all the way around you, and they generate gold light. So 1, 2, 3. So you have 15 Wei Qi auras. Each of them have these 3 different gold mesh spheres that are around you. And if they are not ripped to shreds, they generate gold light. So repair them. Repair your gold mesh spheres. Just have a copy of yourself, and then around that are the gold mesh spheres. So just use lots of gold light and repair them. The good thing about that is if you feel like you have some meridian damage, but you don't have time to deal with the meridians, I mean, you could do it quickly, just like with your intention, be like, okay, I'm going to put so much gold light, in this part of my body that the meridians that are there are going to get, mostly repaired or repaired as much as possible. So you don't have to actually think about which meridians are which. But another good thing is, repair the spheres, gold mesh spheres in that area, because they generate gold light and they send it, inward towards the meridians of the body and circulate it around your Wei Qi auras. So anyway, that's gold mesh spheres. So then we'll just finish up or repair. Just go over the perimeter of your grounding, the perimeter of your auras, outer perimeter. I didn't do scarring and bruising. Make big piles of your aura scarring and bruising. It's just hard leftover junk from being punished. So just melt that down. Your aura scarring and bruising. Make big piles of it, melt it with gold light. Because with energy stuff, flow is strength, presence is strength, hardness is weakness, and it makes your aura tear more easily, so we don't want that. So just any hard junk left over from being punished, just melt it down with gold light. All right, good job. Redo your gold buffer zones. There will be a video called Gold Energy Aura Buffer Zones, which I will link to in the healing summary. They help to slow the rate of aura damage of your astral and physical auras. Okay, so we're going to do creative ring repair and unblocking now, but we're also going to remove devices from family members, and we'll just do it during creative ring repair. Keep things exciting. So, creative rings, 3 gold rings right above your head. They're part of your astral body, so like when you're asleep, your astral body's on the astral with your angels, and the creative rings are up there with your with you as a spirit. And then when you come in, part of you comes in with the creative rings and the rest of you comes through the creative rings to get in. So they're important, in part because of where they are, right there. So 3 gold rings, and just wash them out with lots of gold light. And repair them. Even if you have teeny little cracks, it does make a difference to repair those with gold light. Melt cords going into your creative rings. The more you repair, the more you melt cords, the more the flaps relax, and those are flaps around the outer surface of your creative rings, like this diagram. Voila. So that's an irritated creative ring with the flaps open. We do not want it to be irritated. We want it to be like a nice gold ring with no flaps sticking out. If you have cords going and sending energy from people or beings in there, it gets overwhelming for the ring and it just kind of puffs out like that. So just melt away the cords so that the flaps relax and fall shut. If you have beings that are cording those creative rings, you can just imagine them like clouds above and say, angels, can you recycle these beings? You have people cording your rings. You can just melt the cords with gold light from those people. Don't touch the people. You can say, hi, go talk to your angels, ask your angels about boundaries. Go ask your angels for a healing. Again, if you have invasive beings messing with your creative rings, you can just imagine them like bushy clouds. Say, angels, can you recycle these beings? I have one client, she wrote in her survey like, oh, I was trying to get rid of these energy blocks, in front of my chakras, and they started moving. Okay, so blocks don't move. That's like, this does not move unless I move it, right? This could be an energy block, but if it moves, it's not an energy block. It's a being that is pretending to be an object. So invasive beings move. They don't always move, so that's why they could look like a block. Now you can have both. It's like, if you move a rock in your garden, right? If you move a rock in your garden, take a look at it first, turn it over, because it might have been home to a whole bunch of bugs. So then you move it over and there's a whole bunch of bugs, right? So that's a little bit like that. If you have a significant device somewhere in your space, or really a small, energy block in your space, there could be an invasive being that was just kind of hanging out there. And so you can have the beings recycled first, so it's a lot less drama, and then melt away or blow up the energy block. Just like if I'm going to move a rock in the garden, I'm going to check the bottom of it and dust off the little bugs that were making their home there, and then I'm going to carry it, right? Because that's easier and less icky, right? Okay, so that was a total aside about beings and devices, and how devices do not move, but beings can move. But you can have both. Very commonly, you'll have both. So, have the angels get rid of the beings first, get rid of the device, check again, are there any beings in the area? Angels, can you recycle them? Alright, so that was an aside. I'm going to have to timestamp like that somehow. Alright. So more repair of creative rings, more relaxing the flaps, more melting the cords. Also unblock, get rid of the crustiness on the inner part of the 3 rings, because that can build up there. Okay, and then you can have devices from family members on your creative rings. Most typically, it would be from parents. As far as family members, if you had a sibling that would put devices on your creative rings, that's pretty hardcore. it's more likely going to be parents. It's obviously bad karma to manipulate someone in that way, even if they're your kid. But, you know, whatever, people do it. So you imagine your 3 gold rings, and the back, like if it's a clock, like if this is 6 o'clock, then that would be 12 o'clock, you know, let's say. And so the back top of your top creative ring, that's probably the most common place where you would have a device from, say, a parent. So it would just be like, how am I going to show it? Oh, hold on. All right, so these are dog toys. Okay, they're not your creative rings, obviously, but it's the closest I have right now. So, so we give these dog toys to one at a time, of course, to our dog over there when we want him to be quiet, but we want him to play with something. But anyway, okay, so let's say these are your creative rings, right? So they're up here. It's a little bigger than they really are. Like chubbier than they really are. But anyway, so it could be like a device like right around it, like that. You know, just like a little round little clampy thing right there. You know, back there. So go ahead, check out the top creative ring, look for the clampy stuff. All right, so look for the clampy stuff at the bottom of your creative rings. It could be a clampy thing that hooks up all 3 of them together, but it could be just the top one. So just surround them with gold light. Just have your intention be you only want to do as much as is healthy and gentle to do right now, right? And just use lots of gold light, and you're looking mostly in the back 12 o'clock area, right straight back there on the back of the creative rings back here. And just look for the clampy stuff, either on the top one or on all of them, or there could be just on the bottom of the middle too, I guess. But look for the clampy stuff that you're ready to get rid of. And just say, angels, help me do this. And just use your intention and just loosen it up with gold light and lift it out. Angels, here you go. And just give yourself a moment to adjust to that. Deep breathe into all your major joints. And you can do some healing there. And 2, like I was saying, there could be, you know, in my little aside a few minutes earlier, there could be beings around those devices, just like hanging out like it's a couch for them. So we don't want that, right? So we're looking for the grippy devices in the back, particularly from family members like parents or grandparents, but it could be other people, past life people too. So look for the grippy devices, and then there could be invasive beings just around, hooked into these things. So just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings anywhere near these things or in the way of my work, can you please recycle those invasive beings? And then just surround the grippy devices with gold light, and to the extent that's healthy and gentle, lift out all the ones that are good to lift out right now. Just lift them out and hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. That's kind of funny. Dog chew toys for your creative rings. All right. So we'll call those 12 o'clock devices. Well, whatever, devices at 12 o'clock from your family. But you can have them anywhere. So you can look other places too on the creative rings. And just to the extent that's healthy and gentle, just find all the little grippy devices on your creative rings that are healthy and gentle to get rid of right now, especially from family members. And just surround them in gold light, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Surround them in gold light, lift them out. Angels, here you go. If there are any invasive beings in the way of this work, angels, can you recycle those beings? And then to continue that theme that we did, we've done a little so far, we did it in your grounding. There could be devices around your creative rings that you don't want to know about. You know, maybe they're from somebody that you really respect, or, you know, it was from a hard time in your life that you don't want to think about, whatever. So there could be, you know, devices or junk around your creative rings you don't want to know about, but they're totally unhealthy and in the way, and it would be great for you to get rid of them, right? So you can just put like some kind of a gold fabric that you're not going to look through, you know, around them, and then have that gold fabric loosen those devices you don't want to know about, and just give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So you're still getting rid of them, but you have that, like, I don't want to know, even on a spirit level, right? So just put your gold fabric, your gold I don't want to know fabric around, and just loosen whatever you don't want to know about and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And if there are any invasive beings in the way, just angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in this area or affecting this area? And then just do an extra healing, because sometimes, you know, after you get rid of the device, you know, your creative ring does look a little bit like a chew toy. So we don't want that, right? So just do a little extra repair now that those devices are gone. Deep breaths. All right, good. So that was creative ring repair and unblocking, but then other cool related things, like there was an aside about beings and devices and how they're different and whatever. And then we removed creative ring devices, especially from family members, especially at 12 o'clock back there. Right. So chakra repair and unblocking. Let's do it. So as I said in the intro, if you are having anxiety, the odds of you having first chakra damage are pretty high. Or maybe you just repaired it and it is fully repaired. Maybe. I mean, if it's fully repaired and you don't have a major, something's wrong, right? In your first layer or your first chakra if you're having anxiety. So the most common thing is, you know, your chakra's busted up. Like, you know, like rather than being a nice cylinder like this that's red down there at the base of your spine, it could have a bunch of rips or cracks or a giant object stuck in it. You know, like a whole bunch of spears stuck in the front of it, you know, or the back of it or the side of it. Anyway, so chakra repair. Let's just do it. So you make a composite copy that represents all your major and minor chakras. They all have that basic, you know, open cylinder shape, so it's not a hard thing. Just make a composite copy with your intention, have it represent all your major and minor chakras, and then repair it. As you're repairing your copy, you are repairing all your major and minor chakras. And unblock also, like sort of, you can alternate back and forth. I mean, gold light does both. You could have invasive beings in or around your chakras. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my chakras in any way? You could have hard objects stuck in these chakras. So just imagine the hard objects and loosen them up with gold light and lift them out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. See, the chakra is not damaged and you don't have significant blocks in your first layer. Well, see, you'd probably have to have significant blocks in your first layer for someone to be able to get a blast of energy all the way to your first chakra. Otherwise, it would kind of bounce off your aura. But if you have a bunch of blocks like right in front of your first chakra, then it's possible that hardness can kind of draw in a blast that someone's trying to send. And then someone could be blasting the front of your first chakra. And so that obviously can create anxiety. You know, that energy that's not yours can impact your first chakra and you feel it as fear or anxiety. So the people that say, I have some clients that are married and they have kids, but then they get divorced and they have a child with, you know, they have sort of, you know, they have their kid, but then their kid has a dad or a mom that's not them, right? And they're not married to anymore, like their ex, you know? And so if that kid's young, that kid does have a first chakra cord and should have a first chakra cord to both parents, right? But say, you know, something's really going nuts, you don't know what's going on, your kid could be whacking you and throwing energy at you, or also your ex, since your ex is corded, at least at the first chakra, to that kid, your ex could be whacking you through your kid, like, which is kind of wild, but it's possible. I mean, your ex could just be whacking you generally too, like directly, but they, since they're hooked into the kid, which, you know, is appropriate at the first chakra level, they could be corded in a bunch of places, sending a bunch of energy through the kid, you know, pretty much trying to make trouble, you know, subconsciously. And then you're getting all this energy, you know, through your kid, but it's really like your ex making the trouble, you know, and your kid's just a little vessel in the way. So just a heads up on all that. But non-judgment, presence, flow, quick repair. If it's your kid, your ex, what you could do too is, you know, those of you that have people that are, you know, extremely invasive, sometimes you can't end that process, you know, like they're always going to be invasive, perhaps, you know, perhaps not, perhaps they get better, perhaps then they just have little flare-ups, you know, but you can ask them to, on a spirit level, to take classes about it, you know, ask your ex-wife or husband, or husband to take angel classes about punishment, or ask them to take angel classes about karma, ask them to take angel classes about, you know, emotional clearing, ask them to take angel classes about divorce in their, you know, on the astral. And if you ask telepathically, maybe you could do message flowers and have the angels check and put them at a respectful distance in front of their aura. You're just reminding them of all the angel classes that they could take about divorce, about emotional wellness, about clearing baggage, about child custody, you know, issues. If you feel like, okay, you're really working your energy, but your partner or your ex-partner that you share kids with is not, you know, you can kind of respectfully remind them on a spirit level about the angel classes so they can start to catch up a little bit with their learning and energy clearing. So that was an aside about just throughout chakra repair, I'm not going to timestamp it, about child custody situations, we'll say, and boundaries and etc. And angel classes, and how you can use message flowers to suggest that your loved ones take angel classes. And you know, sometimes they may finish some classes and then they don't take more, so you kind of notice them get a little worse. So you can do new message flowers to suggest again that they sign up for more angel classes about, you know, respective boundaries, karma, emotional wellness, you know, whatever. And you put those message flowers at a respectful distance in front of their aura, so that you're not, you know, brainwashing, because that's really bad karma. So finishing up chakra repair and unblocking, because the blocks should be in front of the big round openings too. So you just imagine those and melt them away with gold light. They could be wrapped, energy blocks can be wrapped around the outer surface or jammed inside too. So you just... And you can have stuff around your chakras that you don't want to know about, but it's still really good for you to get rid of. You know, like on a spirit level, you just, you know, maybe it's from an ex or it's from some situation you don't want to know, right? So just put your gold cloth around it that you're not going to look through, and just loosen up whatever you don't want to know about, or that's in your chakras, and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Put your gold cloth that you're not going to look through, and loosen up the junk in your chakras you don't want to know about. Take it out, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. All right, good job. So we finished the 4 essentials, and we did also remove things that you don't want to know about, which I put in my notes, DWTK, don't want to know. In case you're looking for a fun acronym. Don't want to know. All right. Oh, okay. So now we will do belt area. Getting rid of stuff from your belt area, including stuff you do not want to know about, not even subconsciously. Because it still counts to get rid of it. Like, it's still, you get all the benefits of getting rid of it. If somebody in their survey, they're like, oh, it was good that you mentioned that there's actually benefit to clearing. I just thought it was work that you have to do, and later there's more work, and there's always work, and it's always terrible, and la 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 la. No! Yeah, of course, there's always benefit to clearing. Like, any of the courage that you have now, any of the, you know, motivation you have, the clarity you have, it's because you cleared energy before. So, as good as you feel now, maybe you don't feel that good, but if you feel at least a little good, it's because you already cleared, you already healed, you already strengthened before. So, yes, there's always a major benefit to clearing. So it makes you braver and bolder and more vivid and more engaged in your life. Okay, so speaking of which, the belt area, like as if you have a real relaxed belt that's like hanging on your hips and it kind of droops forward in your tummy area a little bit. That is your belt area. There is an actual traditional Chinese medicine meridian in this area. I think sometimes it's referred to as the girdle belt, but that's kind of, or the girdle meridian, but that's kind of a weird name, I think. I mean, that's just the English version. There's, I'm sure, a very cool sounding Chinese name for it. But anyway, so I'm just going to call it the belt area. But you can look and see, you know, on a copy of yourself, you know, just imagine this area and look for, you know, how it flows around, and just, it should be a river that flows around and around, and but there can be stuck stuff in there. So just imagine the hard stuff that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, and just, you can melt it right in place, actually. You don't even have to lift it out. Just imagine like chunks, and use lots of gold light until it just dissolves away. People can be corded into this hardness, so you can look for some hardness in your belt area that people are corded to, and then melt their cords, and then melt the junk. And that's how you could actually find benefit from invasive people in your life, is look at where they're cording. And that's like where you're really stuck, that you're not realizing. You know, so look at your belt area, look at where somebody's cording, and that's where there's some hard junk, and just melt their cords and then melt the junk. And then, you know, you can be like, thanks, Mom, I didn't realize that was there. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, crabby sister. So again, look at your belt area, look at where people are cording, and then melt their cords with gold light, and then melt whatever chunk of junk they were cording. Because if it was really, really flowing, there'd be nothing for them to cord at all, which is the ideal. And clearing from the belt area is nice, but, you know, like healthy and gentle. Have your intention be healthy and gentle. And if later, you know, old feelings that you haven't felt in a while that are not good resurface, just do more belt area work. Okay, so look at your belt area, imagine it, imagine where are people cording, that's where the big lumps are, and just melt the cords and melt the lumps. You want meridians to be flowing rivers with no rocks in them. You don't want rocks. Rocks are blocked energy. So imagine your belt meridian, and imagine the blocks, imagine where people are cording, even where people are not cording, but sometimes looking for the cords first can kind of give it away, like where there's a bunch of blocks. Look for the cords, melt the junk they were corded into. You can do a side stretch if you want. I mean, chair side stretching is limited in its potential, but it might be interesting. Okay. So belt area is, you know, things you're trying to avoid. It's one place, probably a major place, where, you know, you store just stuff that you're repressing. So it's great to clear, like we did. But then there could be stuff that is there that's good to clear, but you don't want to know about it. You don't want to know what happened, when it happened, who did it, what past life, what present life, whatever. You just don't want to know, right? But it's still on your way, and it would still be really healthy. It's healthy and gentle even to clear, but you're just like, no thanks. All right. So what you could do is use, like, you know, some kind of gold fabric that, you know, you're not going to look through. It's like, you know, opaque gold, not transparent gold, right? And just put it around the, temporarily, you know, you put it around your belt area, and then use that to lift out the stuff you don't want to know about, but that is still healthy and gentle to get rid of. Lift it out, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So you didn't see it, you still don't know about it, but it's gone. So you get all the benefit with none of the yuck factor, right? So your gold, no see-through fabric temporarily around your belt area, and use it to loosen up the stuff you don't want to know about, but would be so good to get rid of today. Loosen it up, lift it out, give it to your angels. You still don't know, but now it's gone. Very nice. Woo, woo, woo. That's your belt area. Like a hula hoop. Hula hoop of flow. Okay, so so that was unblocking the belt area, including, well, and also melting cords, going to the blocks in that area. But then also DWTK, stuff you don't want to know about in that area. We cleared it anyway with the no see-through fabric. obviously don't keep any no see-through fabric in your space. Just, you know, get rid of it. It was just a temporary thing, so you could get rid of it without being aware of it. Yeah, and we will too we'll clear denial and avoidance. Because there is a level of denial and avoidance that is easy to clear, that wouldn't gross you out, that you could do right now, that would totally help. So especially let's clear denial and avoidance about family patterns that you have, you know, just so you can like, you know, say you're, you know, I'm 53, for example. So say I'm 53, right? Which I am. And, you know, if I was still freaked out about that, my mother's invasive, my genetic mother's invasive, that would be pretty silly, because she's been my mother for 53 years. There hasn't been a single year in which she wasn't like super full tilt and super invasive. So it's not like it's a surprise. I've had time to heal. I've had time to get over it and get my non-judgment, right? So it's time, you know, right? So, but you could have some level of denial or avoidance, obviously. I mean, if you're 53 or 43 or even 33 and you still haven't really done some work on this, you know, probably you have denial and avoidance, right? That's in your way. And because the sooner you get over it, you know, okay, fine. You picked an invasive mother. Congratulations, you know, it's going to make you 50 times stronger, you know, by the end of this life. You know, it's going to make you 50 times better at clearing energy. You know, it's just, it is what it is. It's like lifting weights. That's how you get muscles. You don't get muscles just by sitting around. So, you know, having an invasive mother in a lifetime is like lifting weights. You know, you get muscles. It's a good thing. I mean, you know, it doesn't feel like a good thing often, but really, you know, once you get on the other side of it, like the speed bump is denial and avoidance and resistance and judgment. Once you get over the speed bump, then it's much better. It's much easier sailing. So let's clear your speed bump of denial, avoidance, judgment, victimization, boohoo me, right? So we're gonna clear the speed bump. So that was my denial and avoidance speech. Explaining, we'll call it. And using the speed bump image metaphor. Speed bump. Which also is denial and avoidance, but it's also resistance and judgment. So we'll clear all of that right now. Because if I'm still judging my mother for being invasive, like, that's on me that I'm still judging her, you know, because I've had 53 years to clear my judgment. Like, what am I waiting for? Another year? You know, maybe she'll stop being invasive next year, so I will never have to clear my judgment about it. No. Alrighty. So yeah, we're gonna clear the speed bump. Okay, the speed bump of denial, avoidance, resistance, and judgment that you have on some level about one or many family members. And maybe, you know, you've worked on it a lot and you don't have that anymore. You probably have a little somewhere. But maybe just some past life people, you know, or an ex-husband or ex-wife or whatever. So we're going to clear the speed bump. And the speed bump is all those things: denial, avoidance, resistance, judgment. All or any of those things. I like that. Okay, so just you could use a gold blanket, make a big gold blanket out in front of you, put all your speed bump energy about your family members out in front of you. Resistance, avoidance, judgment, denial, blah, 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 victim-y, boo-hoo. Put it all on the blanket. You can do it. Lift your weights, darn it. Get your muscles. All right. So, that's cute. Okay. Lifting weights. Your muscles. Okay, so you have all your speed bump energy on the blanket. Say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? And so they'll take off if there's something that was a bit much to do today. And then just go ahead and you could blow it up. You could run gold fire, gold water through it to melt it. And just keep breathing. Just remind yourself, hey, you know, every day of my life is precious. I don't want to waste another minute on this stuff. Right? I'm going to get over it. I'm no longer going to focus my life on, you know, an invasive family member or a family member that is judgy or disapproving or controlling. I'm going to face it head on, get my non-judgment, get my flow, get my presence, be a fast self-healer, and live my life. All right. If you have any leftovers, just wrap it up. Give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with all this? Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Big old blanket out in front of you. Put all your speed bump energy on it, which is my term for, you know, just the stuff that feels hard about family boundaries. Any resistance, avoidance, denial, judgment of your family members. Like, why are they invasive? They shouldn't be, you know. I need a perfect mother. I need a perfect sibling. You know? Okay, just pile all that on the blanket. All the boohoo energy. Why me? This is so terrible. Why is my life so hard? La 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 la. Pile all that on the blanket. Subconscious resistance, avoidance, denial, judgment. And say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? And of course, the angels are like, oh my gosh, yes, do it. But if there's something that's too much, they're going to take it off once you ask them that. And then just use lots of gold light. You can blow it up too, or just melt it with gold fire, gold water. Okay, so that was clearing the speed bump energy. Clear your speed bump energy. And so, because once you're, I mean, you could still, it could take a bit to get fully over it. But the more you're over it, then it's just easier. You know, you can have more non-judgment about your family members. So let's do more of that, but in a different way. With that goal of getting you over the speed bump as soon as possible, so that you can just be much more level-headed and non-judgmental about your family boundaries, about your family members and whatever they do or don't do that maybe is not perfect and not ideal for you. Oh yeah, heal mini yous. Like, there could be little parts of you that are even pretty triggered about what I'm saying, like in a way that you're kind of offended. Like, boo-hoo, do you know how abusive my father was? Do you know how abusive my mother is? Like, literally, they're certifiable. Like, what the heck? Why are you mocking me and saying I'm boo-hoo? You know? So there could be a big part of you, right, that is resistant. And so is hearing it as just an insult and not realizing, like, the strengthening opportunity that this is, right? And because you're too in the hurt of it, you're too in what happened, right? You're wounded, you feel weak, and you want sympathy and pity, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it just doesn't move you forward. So what you can do is heal these mini parts of you that are stuck in self-pity, stuck in, you know, sadness, mourning what you never had, you know, and those are legitimate states, totally understandable, but they don't make you have a better day. You know, you're not gonna have any fun if you're feeling pity, if you're mourning things. And, you know, if you're like me and you're 53, it might be time to stop mourning the fact that, you know, your mom doesn't like you and you don't like her. Yeah. So, okay. So imagine these mini parts of you that are like, shut up, Janet, you're so mean. Or, parts of you that are like, you know, why do I have these family members? They're psycho. Why do they? Whatever, like really resistant parts of you that like hate your family members or just wish they would be completely different than they are. So any like speed bumpy kind of parts of you, just imagine little versions of those out in front of you. So by speed bumpy, I mean denial, resistance, judgment, or avoidant, right? So imagine all those parts of you that really don't want to deal with this family stuff, wish they were totally different, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, and just heal those parts of you because they deserve a healing. It's not like you are a bad person if you're stuck in these states of like pity or avoidance or sadness or being overwhelmed. But you can isolate those parts of you in like a concentrated format, and then like this, like imagine they're mini parts, mini versions of you, and heal these mini parts of you. Just say, hey, it's time for healing, and just lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy and soak these little mini parts of you in red earth energy. That's nice and gentle and comforting. Heal these mini parts of you. So a lot of times when you have these mini parts of you, you want other people to heal you. Like ideally your family members, right? But you can heal these little mini parts of you, and they're very, it'll work if you heal them. So just imagine these parts of you that are probably waiting for your family members to be different than they are, and just heal those parts of you. Lots of gold light. And you could say, angels, help me to heal these parts of me. These parts of me that are stuck in self-pity or sadness or being scared or whatever. Being anxious about my family. Just, angels, please help me heal these parts of me. And you can say, angels, please finish healing these parts of me. So that was healing mini versions of you that are sort of against what we just did. Like that are really vibing in that speed bumpy stuff. That are stuck in, denial, avoidance, resistance to or judgment, or, sadness or self-pity, something like that. All right, good job. So once those parts get healed, then you get back the energy. So then there's less of you stuck in that state, which is nice, because then the sooner you're over your speed bump, and you can just be much more level-headed about like, oh yeah, I have an invasive mother. This is not a shock. I'm not going to spend my whole day on that. And just, be non-judgmental, be flowing, be as present as you can. Every time you think of that person, every time you interact with that person, it's about your flow. It's about you being centered. Just unblock things, repair quickly if needed. That's it. All right, good job. So this thing I want to do, I didn't mention it in the intro, but I was thinking about it today. The angels were showing it to me today. I'm going to call it Step Into It. And so step into what? Like step into July. It's July right now. Say if you're listening to this in December, step into December. Step into it. Step into July or the season that you're in. Step into summer if it's summer where you are now. When you're listening, step into your life, because we've done and we'll do more this time. The stop waiting, but this is sort of a different it's similar to that in a way, where you could be sort of standing out. Like, so to use a personal example, I was sort of standing outside of July. It's like I sort of had one foot in it, but I was kind of like, you know, and why? Well, because I was like, well, you know, I wish I had all my seedlings in the ground already. It was a gardening thing I was stuck on. I wish I had all my seedlings in the ground right now because, you know, it's getting so hot and it's really hard for seedlings to be transplanted and be that tiny in such hot weather. And, you know, so I wasn't, as a spirit, I was like, oh, I wish I had done this in the spring more. I wish I was further along, you know, with my garden. So I wasn't in July, you know, ready to like enjoy it fully and just really experience July fully, right? Because I was like, oh, I should have done this already. Oh, you know, I have so much to do, but it's so hot. Same thing with summer, you know, it's for the same reasons. And probably a couple extra reasons. But anyway, so what you can do is imagine, and I would say, you know, first you could start small, like step into your week or step into the month that it is. But I'm going to do the month that it is. And you know, so for everybody that I'm healing right now, it's July all around the world. That's easy. So you know, just imagine, like, are you in July? Like, you can imagine it like, you know, maybe it's this nice little shallow pool that's really beautiful and it's just for you and it's July. This is your July, right? So are you in your July, or are you kind of standing out of it like, oh, I'm not quite ready, I wish, you know? And just look, are you in your July or are you not in your July? And then you can clear baggage that keeps you out of your July. You know, so just imagine like big chunks of energy out in front of you that is your baggage that's keeping you out of July. And just keep melting more and more of your blocked energy until you step into it, until you step fully into both feet into your July. You know, so you can imagine that like a nice, shallow, beautiful pool, wading pool that, you know, with warm water for your feet, or imagine it some other way, you know, like a garden you're stepping into fully, or whatever kind of image you like. But so step into it fully, step into your July. So if you're not yet, just keep melting energy blocks so that you can step into your July, or whatever month you're in when you hear this. Ha! Oh, I know what that is. So are you stepping fully into your July, and just, or whatever month it is right now for you, when you hear this. So, and if you have trouble with that, just say, angels, help me to do this. If this is healthy for me to do and gentle for me to do, help me to do it. Just let your angels guide you. All right, good job. So that was stepping into it. We just did it first for just stepping into the month that it is for you. So then the season, we'll do that. So imagine the season that it is for you, you know, calendar wise. So if it's, you know, summer right now for you, or whatever season it is for you, just imagine the pool of your season. So like all the plans and ideas that you want and whatever, like it's your season, your summer, let's say. And are you fully in it, standing in it, or are you off to one side, or like 1 foot in, 1 foot out? And just look at the baggage, the hard chunks of energy in front of you. So like chunk, 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 bunch of blocked energy that is keeping you from stepping right in and really fully being in your summer or whatever season. So just melt the blocks, maybe unblock your grounding, give yourself up all over gold light, melt more blocks. You say, angels, can you help me do this? So you can step fully into whatever season it is, so you can more fully experience it. That way you have nice memories of it because you were really doing cool things that you enjoyed, or you really learned in a meaningful way. whatever. So again, clear the blocks that are keeping you from stepping into the season that you're in. All right, good job. So we did month, we did season. So now let's do life. So are you in your life? Or are you kind of like, well, you know, ideally I would have bigger boobs, or ideally I would be richer, ideally I would be married already, ideally I would have kids, or I wouldn't have kids. Right? So you can imagine some sort of metaphorical image for your life, like maybe it's a nice, cute little pool of water with all sorts of beautiful, gorgeous colors and energy that's yours, you know, for this life. And then are you in it or are you not in it? You know, are you halfway in it? And it's really good to be in your life when you're in it, because later when you're in heaven, you're going to be like, oh, why wasn't I, you know, I had so many opportunities. Why wasn't I fully, you know, taking advantage of all the opportunities for change and experiencing beauty and gratitude? You know, what was I thinking? You know, so you don't want to have that regret, right? I mean, heaven feels good anyway, but you know what I mean. So imagine your life as some metaphorical, cool thing, and you know, you can have angels clean it out so it really does look nice. And then, are you in it or are you not in it? You know, are you halfway in? And just imagine whatever blocked energy that's keeping you from fully standing in your life and really being in it, fully stepping in it. And just melt away the blocked energy. Say, angels, help me do this. Angels, help me to be fully in my life in a way that's healthy and gentle and rewarding for me. Right? So just melt the blocks so that you can fully step into your life. You can say, angels, help me do this. And you can give yourself a little healing to congratulate yourself, like, yay, good job, I did it, I'm awesome. Throw yourself a gold confetti party. Whee, I did it. All right, great job. What a rock star you are. So that was step into it. All righty. So, gonna read a sample person for 1 minute. So I'll be quiet for a second. Okay. So we're going to do more heal mini yous. Little mini versions of you that are like a concentrated collection of whatever stuck energy that we need to heal. So heal mini yous. And these will be the stop waiting ones. So the ones that are stuck waiting. So heal mini yous that are stuck waiting. Okay? Which we have been doing for the last couple of group healings that we've been doing. So you can line up out in front of you all the different little mini parts of you that are stuck waiting. You know, and you could be stuck waiting because you have your dad's energy in your space from when you were 2 and you wanted to run out into traffic, or, you know, something else. Some other part of you, you're just afraid of failure. Maybe you are afraid of, you know, failing, about not being good enough. You feel like you're not ready. You're afraid of change. You're afraid of succeeding and getting too much attention. You're afraid of being punished, whatever. All these little, you know, waiting parts of you. Part of you is super confused, you know, whatever. Any part of you that's waiting in an unhealthy, unnecessary way, right? And just heal these parts of you. You can say, angels, is this too much? Can I do all this right now? And then just, angels, help me do this. Just lots of gold light. Heal these mini parts of you that are stuck waiting rather than taking action. Stuck studying, stuck waiting, stuck being confused, stuck feeling not ready, feeling not good enough, whatever. Heal these parts of you. You can do it. You know, these parts of you that are stuck waiting, you can put out more little mini parts of you that are stuck waiting. And okay, so that's that. Good job. Now we'll do a little more of the DWTK, don't want to know approach, where there could be stuff you don't want to know about that is making you stuck waiting. And we can clear it anyway. So you can make more of that, and you can make some other method if this doesn't work for you, but you could make like a gold fabric that you don't see through. So it's a no see-through gold fabric, right? And just put in it any baggage you don't want to know about, but you totally have, and it would be totally good to clear. So any baggage like that you really don't want to know about. So the fabric is up so you can't see. And so you're putting it all into this fabric, this gold no see-through fabric, and any baggage that you have that's making you wait, but you really don't want to know about it even subconsciously. It's just so gross or so whatever. Right? So you're filling up your gold fabric and say, angels, is it okay to clear all this? And then you could blow it up, you know, like wrap it in the fabric first so you never see it and just blow it up. Or melt it, or hand it to your angels all wrapped up so you never see it. Angels, here you go. So let's do that again. Baggage that you have that you don't even want to know about. That, because we could do some baggage that's okay to know about, like keep the blanket regular, you know, and just put on the blanket baggage that you don't mind being aware of subconsciously, right? And that you don't have to cover it up. Just melt it away. Baggage that is okay to know about, and it's in your way, and it's making you stuck waiting. So just melt all that stuck waiting baggage that you have. That you're ready to get rid of. Okay, so that's baggage you're okay with knowing about, right? But so we did a don't want to know about bunch. We did one that's okay to know about. We cleared that, and so we'll do another don't want to know about bunch. So a no see-through gold fabric, maybe like a laundry bag or something, you know, big gold no see-through laundry bag, and just shove into it all the stuff you don't want to know about that is making you stuck waiting. Stuck waiting, stuck in victim energy, stuck in indecision, stuck in fear, or whatever, stuck waiting kind of vibe, right? And fill up your no see-through gold bag and just say, angels, is it okay to clear all this? And then go ahead, use so much gold fire, gold water that it melts away. And if there's anything left over in there, just say, angels, here you go. Ah. So now you could also have inner wounds that are that you don't want to know about, that are giving you family boundary issues, or that give you family boundary issues and or make you stuck waiting rather than taking action in your life. So you can put up your gold, don't look at it fabric, right? And just imagine on the other side of the gold, don't look at it fabric, a whole bunch of inner wounds that you have that would be really good to heal right now. They're healthy and gentle to heal, but you don't want to know. You don't want to know when they happened, who did it, don't want to deal with that, right? So just imagine those inner wounds on the other side of the don't look at it fabric and just use gold light, and so much gold light that they're going to get healed. So you imagine the wounds like slashes, but you're not looking at them, so it's just slashes on the other side of the fabric, and just melt away the wounds that you don't want to look at, that you don't want to know about. Right? And you can say, angels, help me finish up healing all these. So then they're all healed, and you can give your fabric to your angels. Angels, here you go. So that was healing inner wounds that make you stuck waiting, or make you just have boundary issues with your family members, but that you don't want to know about. So we healed them anyway. All right, good job. Good job, good job, good job. I'm going to look at a sample person for a second, but we will wrap up soon. Okay, so I used to say too, take the elevator up to your sixth chakra. Like if you're stuck in your fourth, you're going to judge somebody. So say you have a lot of, blocked energy from your mother in your fourth chakra, or let's use the pissy sister analogy, because maybe that's less triggering for people. So say you have that pissy cranky sister that I was talking about in the intro, and you have a lot of baggage in your heart chakra about it. She was never very nice, boo-hoo, just feeling like it's just not fair, and she didn't have to be so darn mean and cranky all the time. So it's really heavy there with all the blocks, and every time you think about her, those blocks get triggered, and so your point of attention, like your command center, drops down, so that you're viewing from your fourth, and then you're in judgment, so then it's really hard to clear anything, and so everything gets stuck, and you have terrible boundaries with your sister. It's just everything's stuck and non-flowing, and therefore super weak. So she could throw one little thing and it would just rip everything because you're so stuck when you think about her, or when you interact with her, even just spiritually, right? So the idea is so the idea is also to clear stuck energy in and around your fourth chakra and your fourth layer, because sometimes that's what drags you down out of judgment, is specific blocks around your fourth chakra, your fourth layer. Because if you can get if you can get good flow there, it's a lot easier to be here. And if you're here, it really changes your perspective about the situation and about the person, and you're not like as likely to use like to sort of, be in that sort of, wow, this is so terrible, I hate this person, they're so awful, blah, 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 blah. You're much more likely to be much more analytical and quick and efficient and effective, and, just get it done and not make it the theme of your entire life. So we're just going to we're going to unblock the fourth chakra and the fourth layer, basically. Specifically to family boundaries junk, getting that out of there, stuff that triggers when you interact with family members, present and past. So it's basically an unblocking of your fourth layer and fourth chakra. So that there's less hard stuff to sort of drag your attention down there, when you think of family member XYZ. Okay, so just imagine your heart chakra. It's, you know, regular chakra shape, chakra open cylinder, round opening in the front, round opening in the back. You have two of them. Your physical body has one and your astral body has one. And if they're nice and unblocked and flowing, then your astral body one fits well into your physical one when you're awake, and they both flow. And then you have the fourth layers that flow nicely, and it's just a beautiful thing. So just imagine those. You can imagine them separately, or you can imagine the astral one fit inside the physical one, so you're healing both at once, and it just looks like one, but it's really two. So you're healing your fourth chakras with gold light and unblock them, and especially think about, okay, well, what triggers about family members in my fourth layer, in my fourth layers, and my fourth chakras. And you can even look and see, okay, well, where do my family members cord me? Oh, they all cord right in front of my fourth chakra. That means there must be a giant energy block right there. Or maybe the front of the fourth chakra is damaged even. But, you know, we did just repair everything, so that's not as likely. But you can just lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Because they can't cord. If it's all repaired and totally unblocked and flowing, there's nothing to cord. They could try, but it won't work. So it's just information. If people are recording you, that's information. You just clear it and move on. It just tells you that you have something stuck that they were able to cord. Top and bottom of your fourth layers, unblock those. Again, you're looking for baggage that your family currently cords or has corded in the past or generally cords, or just any baggage about your family. Maybe it's stuff they've dumped in there. Maybe it's just sort of some hurt feelings that you have about the situation, and it's like a big lumpy muddy area in your fourth layer. So lots of gold light. There could be invasive beings in the way that are not that excited about you getting so non-judgmental. So just say, angels, if there are any beings anywhere in this area, just please recycle them. Again, we're unblocking, repairing, healing fourth chakras and fourth layers, especially unblocking baggage related to family boundary issues. So ex-husbands, ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, ex-partners, any kind of baggage, stuck stuff that they generally would cord, or stuff they've dumped in your space, just melt it away. Because when your fourth is nice and flowing, it's easy to not be stuck there. Then you can view from 6th and 7th, and you can just be in all your chakras, or as many as possible. Just doing a really quick chakra alignment, imagining all your major chakras along your spine, 7 through 1, and then Kundalini chakra down below. Just unblock everything. But again, fourth layer, unblock your fourth layer. You know, say you're like, I'm fine until I deal with my mother, then my whole day gets ruined. Well, okay, but what that means probably is that the big blocks are like back here in the back of your fourth layer, and so you don't feel them as much. But then when you deal with her, they get triggered and they come to the front of your fourth layer, and then that allows her to shove a bunch of energy into your space because it's so stuck and hard. So it's not that you didn't have these blocks before, it's just that they get triggered when you deal with your mother, and that causes a giant boundary issue. So clear the blocks. Don't just let them go into the back of your aura until next time you deal with her. Right? So fourth layer, unblock that puppy. Come on, you could do it. You could do it. And unblock all your aura layers. Anything that triggers when you deal with your family, all the blocks that they normally cord, just melt them away. It's all right. It's so much easier to melt it. So melt hard blocked energy that family members typically hoard, or baggage that family members have dumped in there, dumped energy. But you want to be able to be non-judgmental and just view accurately the situation and not get stuck in the soap opera version of it. Just view it, make your decisions, have your free will. Unblock your grounding, same thing. There could be blocks there that your family typically hoards, or blocks related to your feelings about your family members, present and past. Just melt the blocks in your grounding related to family boundary issues. Because your problem really is not that they hoard, because that's what it is what it is. The problem is just the lack of flow, lack of presence, lack of non-judgment. If you have that, then what they do is not that big a deal. Nothing you can't handle. Okay, redo your goal buffer zones. So that was fourth chakra, unblocking both your fourth chakras, both your fourth layers, and then just general all over. Unblocking so that you can have more flow and presence and non-judgment when you deal with your family members, even just through subconscious spirit level interaction. And again, you know, if you're like, well, I haven't talked to my sister in 30 years. Yeah, but she might interact with you, and then all of a sudden that causes you to be aware of her. And so you want to have that on a spirit level. And so you want to have your flow and presence, clear your boundaries so that if she throws energy your way, you're still non-judgmental and you're still present and you can still just, you know, get rid of it. All right, so that's a healing. I think we don't really need to do much more. Just comb through everything, make sure you're okay. Maybe 2 big blocks. You could do that at the end, 2 big blocks. So pile up in front of you any energy blocks that are so big that they just didn't clear yet, but it would be more comfortable if they did. So they're usually glued together, a whole bunch of blocks glued together. So just melt the glue, melt whatever's sticking them together. It could be your resistance, it could be somebody else's energy. Melt the cords going into them, and the blocks can just explode or melt away. So again, put out in front of you 2 big energy blocks that are still in your space. They haven't cleared yet, but it would be really good if they did. Just melt them away. And then one more time, the don't want to know blocks, DWTK, don't want to know blocks. We could put them in boxes. How about that? This time we'll do for variety. So make your big gold don't want to know boxes that you're not going to look in. Just pile all your don't want to know baggage that's causing family boundary issues for you, causing you to judge your family members and therefore have weaker boundaries. You know, put all that in your don't want to know boxes, and you can blow them up or melt them away with gold light, including the box once they're empty. All right, redo your grounding. Maybe do a tricolor soak. So big red grounding, use that like a straw, bring up red earth energy, soak everything in red earth energy all the way up, up. Couple deep breaths. Bring that down to the level of your grounding. Turn it into an orange grounding, like a straw. Bring up orange earth energy. Soak everything in orange earth energy. Couple deep breaths. Bring that down to the level of your grounding. Make it your favorite shade of yellow and use it like a yellow straw. Bring up yellow earth energy. Soak everything in yellow earth energy. Couple deep breaths. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And you could leave up this, an earth energy soak, and you could leave it, change it back to red or orange, or leave it at yellow if you prefer. Or you could bring it down and just have normal level grounding at the level of your third chakra, and change it to whichever of the 3 colors you like, red or orange or yellow. All right, so you can say, angels, can you please finish up this healing for me? And angels, can you help me to have healthy and strong family boundaries? Couple deep breaths. All right, good job. That's a healing. You're a rock star. Woo, 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 woo. Good job, good job. Healthy family boundaries. All right, rock star. Okay, so there is no Q&A. That's the new normal. No Q&As after this. If you have a question where you want me to look at energy of something, or it's just a question about something that's not on theme, put it under the video at any time. So once this live stream is over, it'll turn into a video. You can post it under there, or any other video I have. You can post any question under the video at any time, and I'll get to it when I have time, and I will post a reply under your question. So if you have a comment about how you feel right now, how the healing was for you, I would read it quickly, if there are any comments like that. So this is, hey Janet, we can see and hear you in Evanston. 74 and sunny Evanston. I bought this in Evanston at Dave's Rock Shop. This is a amethyst necklace. Dave Rock Shop has a lot of really good stone necklaces. I mean, at least at the time, they were the whole time I was in Chicago, it was reasonably priced. So I'm assuming it would still be, as far as, relatively. A necklace like this isn't going to be cheap because it's a lot of amethyst, but you know what I mean. It's a great place. Dave's Rock Shop in Evanston. So this is, you're totally right about the speed bump stuff. Excited to work this more. Oh, good. So this says, thanks, Janet. You are welcome. So it says, hello from Ottawa, Canada. I like the weightlifting technique, and I lift weights often. Look at you. Hey. In the gym, and I lift weight off my shoulders when I feel my shoulders are being corded. Oh, very interesting. Lift weights often. Yes, I got that. Cool. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Like clearing blocks, healing wounds, it gives you muscles. Having an invasive parent or an invasive sister, or judgy, pushy brother or whatever, it's like lifting weights. Gives you good muscles, that then it's going to improve your next life and your next life and your next life. And so, face your lessons, do it. You can do it. It's totally worth it. So this is, hi, Janet. I felt my grounding as I was releasing, not only in my mind, but the real physical releasing. That's nice. Great feeling. I also have pressure and a small headache. It started once we worked on 4th chakra and 4th layer. Yeah, what that is yeah, it's not that you just got the damage to these meridians in your head it's just that work got you more present, so then you felt the blocked energy in your meridians of your head. So you can just, lots of cold light, especially around wherever the pain is localized, and just, unblock and repair the meridians in your head. Lots of good ones. I do have those, if you're feeling extra motivated, I do have those videos. They're linked under all these live streams lately. It's called 12 Meridian Playlist, and it shows all the regular meridians, and plus it shows the GV meridian. Even though the GV meridian is an extraordinary meridian, you can see it on the video. Actually, I have I forgot I have these. So the yellow lines, that's urinary bladder meridian, which starts in the face, the yellow right there in the corner of the eye. That goes back. That's a meridian in your head. That could be any of these meridians, if they're damaged and or blocked, then you can feel a headache. So there's that yellow one. There's the one that ends in the roof of the mouth right there. That here it's a gray line, but ideally they're all red energy wise. But it goes up the midline of your back, hooks around, and that's your GV meridian. And then there's two of them. There's unfortunately in the video they made them very similar colors, but like all this zigzaggy stuff, those are all meridians, and you can repair them all, unblock them all, and it does take a lot of pressure off your head. It's nice. So that would be each one of those has a 1-minute video that shows the pathway, and those polka dots are all little chakras, like little chakras like this in the meridian, keeping the energy flow. So if they're all like crumpled up and damaged, they don't do a good job, and you get blocks and you get pain, like literally physical pain. So anyway, good stuff. So that would be the 12 meridian playlist if you wanted to geek out about your meridians. Otherwise, you just repair the gold mesh spheres all around your head of your Wei Qi auras. So then they generate gold light and they send it into that area to do the repair without you having to think about it, which is nice. Anyway, you're saying, I feel much motivated to work on this theme. That's good. Yeah, fourth chakra and fourth layer is motivation, actually. So that's sort of sad, though, because then people who have a lot of blocks here, they're not motivated at all to deal with it. So once you get a little motivation, though, it's like really fortunate, because then you can unblock your fourth layers and your fourth chakras, and then you'll get even more motivated, because this is the chakra that actually generates motivation. So, and positive thoughts, and like that glass half full, and the gratitude, all the good stuff that makes you feel better is here in your fourth chakra and your fourth layer. So the more you unblock them and get everybody out, then the more it works, and you get more of a positive outlook on your life. Okay, so it says, thank you so much. I feel like I released a bunch. Yes, you did. So just you and everybody, just if you keep your grounding unblocked for the next couple of days, then you'll be releasing throughout, the next day and the next day and the next day probably. And so you just keep that forward movement going then. And of course, if you have a panic attack tonight or tomorrow, it's not because of the healing. The healings don't make panic attacks. It's probably your mom just, blew up your first chakra or something. So you can redo your 4 essentials, and I'll take care of that. Someone says, I feel great. Really excited to work these techniques more over time. Thanks, Janet. Oh, good. Someone says, feeling great. You normally heal me, but I healed myself today. Wow, really needed it. Feel so much better. As if I released and healed a lot. You also love your humor so much. You cracked me up. Thank you so much. Oh, that's good. I'm glad. Someone says, and good for you for healing yourself. Someone says, thanks, Janet. Feeling good. I like the humor in this one. It felt light and nice. So good. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I felt great, especially while clearing my fourth chakras and layers. Yes. Yeah, fourth chakra, that's like the feel-good energy. So the more unblocked it is, the more it can flow freely, and you don't have like piles of yuck everywhere, then it's like, wow, my life feels better. I feel lighter. Wow, this is pretty neat. Wow, it's nice. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Loved the healing of many parts of me that were really unhappy and pissed about what you were saying. Yeah, I could tell. Yeah, like I've said before, it's natural to hate me sometimes. That is a natural thing. I try not to trigger people so much that happens all the time, but sometimes it's just like right where you're stuck, and it's like, shut up, stop saying that. So yeah, you just heal those parts of you, heal the parts of you that hate me the most. Because those are the parts of you that, you know, need a healing. And you can also heal the parts of you that hate your mother the most. The parts of you that hate anything, really, need the most healing. Alrighty. Well, good. I'm glad you liked the healing, the parts of you. That's good. The pissy sister was way overdue. Yes, pissy sister work. How about that? Yeah, pissy sister, you know, she has busted chakras. It makes her crabby all the time. What can you do? All right. So you're amazing, and I will show my dogs for the last minute of the healing. Last minute of the live stream. You know who that is. His name is IZZY, and he's a total superstar, and he knows it too much. And that is, his name is spelled ABLE. I could say his name because he's asleep. Abel, that's Abel. And he's got a cone on his head. That's a new cone because he damaged the old cone too much. So I used to have to buy him new cones like one a month because he kept eating through them, but then I reinforced them. I put these iron-on patches all over them, so then it takes them longer to destroy. Anyway, isn't that cute? How cute is that? All right, and a quick garden update. Let's see. Well, it's going to be kind of hot for the next 2 days, so I don't know that I can put anything in the ground. I mean, today I'll be busy working too, but tomorrow is supposed to be especially hot, so then that means maybe I can't plant anything tomorrow, but I could plant late in the day tomorrow because then the next day won't be as hot, so it's like, you know, it'll be better for them. But yeah, I have a soil sifter because I have the whole front yard is wood chipped, and that's good because wood chips make really good soil and it protects the soil and keeps the bugs happy and the birds happy and everybody happy and the plants happy and the soil's happy. But sometimes the wood chips and the dirt mix together in the garden beds where I'm planting constantly, and that's not good because then it depletes the nitrogen in the soil. So what I have to do is I have to get rid of the wood chips that are in the garden beds, and then, you know, with a soil sifter I actually sift the soil and dump out the wood chips, leave the soil, and then I just put straw. Yeah, I plant my plants in the garden beds and then I just put straw around because apparently straw is not a big deal if it ends up mixing with the soil later. It doesn't deplete as much nitrogen. So I was soil sifting yesterday. Alrighty, so that's a little garden update. Love the pups and garden updates. Oh, good. All right, you're amazing. I hope you stepped into your July and you stepped into your summer or whatever month and season you're watching this and it is for you. All right, bye-bye. I'm going to sign off now and go step into more